Great. Hey guys, my name is Max Reichel. I'm the founder and the CEO of Oppa. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to tell you a little bit about what we are up to at Oppa and how we believe the world of design has been changing in Brazil. Thank you very, very much for the invitation to come here and speak to you, and very many thanks for you guys actually joining up to the presentation. My presentation is not as beautiful as the one before, but I'm going to keep it nice and short and allow for some questions afterwards. Please don't ask me very difficult questions. Let me start off by saying what is Oppa for the people of you that don't know what we're doing. Oppa is a... Actually, let me try this. Yeah. We at Oppa are building a Brazilian Brazilian furniture brand that is aiming to offer accessible, high-quality design furniture to as many Brazilians as possible, and at the same time allow or build a platform for young designers to enter the Brazilian furniture market. We don't believe that furniture needs to be extremely expensive to be a high-quality item or to be a high-design item. We actually believe that design should be for everybody, design para todos, and I think you can use design and the economies of scale that are inherent in the design part to scale up and provide amazing stuff to as many people as possible at very good prices. What we are a very young company. We are actually less than a year old. And we grew from being, I think, 5 people around the table of this size a year ago to about 100 people at the end of this year. So it's a lot of work, it's a different business model, it's a very startup mentality, and it's a very young company, not only in the length of time that we have been working, but also in the average age. I think the average age in the company is something like 26 or 27. I'm one of the old guys there. But the question is, like, what do we really want to do? We are using the online supply chain and an online distribution model in order to try to disrupt the furniture market, the traditional furniture market as you know it, for the major retailers, right? If you think about the furniture retail model, this hasn't changed in the last 60 years. It's the same big box, you go in, they're assembled, ambiances, you go in, you see something, you go out, and you have it delivered to you. We believe that we are at the start of trying to revolutionize that, of trying to disrupt that, of using the online channel in order to display the information better, display the designer better, bring the designer closer to the public, and at the same time to be very cost efficient by being, for example, able to ship all over Brazil and not having to have big stores all across the country. Let me go into that in a second. And when we think about design, in my opinion, design is not something that should only be consumed or enjoyed by the very high class, by the AAA class here in Brazil. I think there's a space for that. But I do think that everyone enjoys living in a wonderful environment, of designing their own home in a wonderful way, and I believe they should have access to that. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with our business model, and that's what we're trying to build to offer our customers. I think there's 2 parts. I'm going to go first a little bit into the market, and then I want to talk a little bit about how we work with young designers and external designers as well. Again, I think the 3 ideas or 3 main points that we are trying to build up, and we need a lot of help, so if you guys have advice, please talk to me on that, is A, providing great furniture for everyone in the market, B, allowing young designers to enter the furniture market. It shouldn't be as difficult as it is today in Brazil. And thirdly, to play a little bit of a part to define Brazilian contemporary design. Just a small part of that. By the way, can you guys all hear me, or is the microphone? It's good? Okay. So let me talk a little bit about how I understand the market, and this is hugely simplified, so don't judge me on it. Again, we believe the Brazilian market is split today into somewhat of a pyramid, in high quality and low price. And what we see today is that there is a very exciting piece of the market which is somewhere, it's a very high-end design area. This is almost bordering towards art design. And I think you find a lot of very exciting stuff on that, including international imports and a lot of new things happening on these items that are beautifully done, mostly in small quantities, and at extremely high prices. On the other hand, what you see is that there's a pretty big mass market, right? And the objective here is to have as low prices as possible. People cut on the quality, people cut on the look and the feel and the idea of the furniture, and really just try to have mass, lowest prices possible. So again, the one having an optimization around high quality or high design, the other one around low prices. Now, what do we believe? We believe that the Brazilian landscape of customers is changing. We believe that there is a new emergence of a new customer in Brazil, which draws from the new middle class, which draws from the upper class going down, and from the lower class going up. And this is what we like to call the smart buyer. This is the guy that optimizes quality for price. He wants to have great stuff, but doesn't want to pay a fair price for that. And I think this understanding is something that you don't find much in the Brazilian market today. I think it's difficult to do that because you actually have to invest quite a lot into how you design the furniture, how you make it efficient, how you keep the prices low, and at the same time work with designers on that and bring something beautiful out. This is exactly what Oppa is. It's not low prices, it's not the highest of the highest quality, it's right in the middle. It's accessible for you guys to buy. When I came to Brazil, I wanted to buy a desk. I felt backwards at the prices of the desks here. And I just couldn't buy it. I mean, really, I could not buy furniture. And I wonder how many of you guys are just saying, yeah, we get, to some local guy and he's making it for us, so I take the old ones from, that was lying around somewhere. But I think buying new stuff is really tough, and that's what we try to do. Now, how do we do that? How can we keep the prices low and still have this design aspect to it and have the infrastructure to help young designers to come onto the market? I think it's three things that we're trying to optimize around. One is we use an online store. And everybody always talks about online, it's exciting, but I think the real question here is, it's not only you go online and you buy it. I think we have to think about how we can make the purchasing experience for the customers more exciting online than it is offline. And this is a development, and we have a lot to learn on that. But at the same time, and we're constantly improving on that, but at the same time, using an online distribution network allows us to send all over Brazil today, not having to have just certain shops somewhere where only you can go and buy from there. We can distribute to everybody, plus we can produce in higher quantities and thus decrease prices for you guys. Secondly, it's around smart design, and I'm going to go a little bit more deeper into this. But I think what we try to do is we try to think about, how can we provide something that's functional yet beautiful? We don't use golden plate and stuff. We don't use really weird things. It's beautiful, nice furniture that makes fun, right? There's an element of fun to it. And at the same time, we work with an internal design team and an external designers, both very well-known guys and new young guys, from university, someone that has a great idea of a design and then just comes to us. And the third part is collaboration and the ability to integrate with factories here in Brazil. Brazil has an incredible industry in furniture. Incredible. It's tons of stuff that was exported again and again and again. However, we feel it's somewhat tough, and I've heard from people that it's tough for young designers to come out and work with these factories. This is not something that people teach right away in university, for example, or just on the job. So people end up doing more high-end things, working with mercenarios, and not working with the factories. What we do is we have a landscape being exactly able to say, look, these kind of materials, these kind of processes, this kind of things we are looking for, help us to do whatever you want within that space, and we can then go take your designs, prototype them for you, and then get them done at a factory. Requires that, I think that's actually one of the hardest parts, really to get that connection with the factories. Now, I talked a little bit about the smart design, and I talked a little bit about what we see of playing a small part of helping to define resilient contemporary culture, contemporary design. This is not something that comes from me. I don't go in and say, look, this is my design style. This is something that I want to come from young designers. I want young designers to come out and take their designs and say, look, I created something awesome. My professor loves it. I love it. All my friends love it. Why don't you guys take a look at it? Why don't we try to produce this together? And I believe that through creating this platform and helping young and established guys to come out and produce this and actually to sell it, right, to create a marketplace for that, we believe we can play the small part in defining something new for the Brazilian market. The way we define, I think the only thing that the design has to have that we take a look at is it's 3+ things. A, it's efficient production. Let's not waste material. Let's be, careful how we use raw materials in this country. Secondly, it's efficient logistics, right? Yes, let's not have a huge, complicated thing. Let's try to have it somewhat flat packed so we can save costs and give those costs to the customer. And then thirdly, it's efficient assembly. Brazilians don't like to assemble themselves. So, let's find a way to make it somehow so it gets a little bit more easier to do. But all of these together need to have an element of fun, an element of surprise. We want the customer to open the package and say, wow, that's actually kind of cool. Again, this is tough. I think the design of that is much, much tougher within those boundaries. But when we achieve it, I think we can have a huge impact on the marketeer. Now, very quickly on how we work with external designers. We have an open forum where young designers can send us their projects. We commit, of course, not to copy or do any of that's bad stuff. We take a look of whether or not this design fits within our definition of smart design, as we just discussed. And then we go and work with the designer to bring that product to life. Let's create a prototype together. We pay for it. Let's think about how to make it more efficient. Think about stability. Let's think about the material. Let us help you, or you help us to work with the factories to bring this product out and bring it to life. Then we put it on once it's ready. We put it on the website, and then we distribute it out with with the young designer on it, with a description of him. It's really a way for this guy to come out. This process we're constantly optimizing, but this does not take 1.5 years and 15,000 reais in investment, as I've heard from other people. This is, depends on how long and how good the product is. It should take something like 2 months, 3 months, or something like that. Right? Now, what are the results? I think a couple of them are interesting. The team has grown within 1 year from 5 people to about 100. We have people from all different industry, all different backgrounds, working with a lot of designers, all across Brazil actually. We are the second largest Facebook community in the world for furniture. The only one that's bigger is IKEA Italy. We're going to get those guys too. And we are actually the #1 discussed one. There's the most movement in our community. Most people are interested in that. We brought out a couple of things that are cool, right? I mean, the Cadeira Uma won a prize at the Idea Design Award, the Idea Brazil competition. So we're pretty excited on that. And this for a product that sells for, 200 reais or something, made of eucalyptus. Secondly, we also work on cool new partnerships. Both, again, external young designers, but also experienced guys from fashion, from design. we talked to a lot of the designers, high-end designers, and for them it's very difficult to break into the Brazilian, into the larger market, into the lower price market, because they also don't have the connections to these factories and to the distribution network afterwards that would allow them to sell something not for 1,000 reais, but maybe for 400 reais. So one thing that we're doing right now, that's going to come out, I think this month, is a cooperation with Neon, which is fashion designers out of Brazil that we're really excited about. And we have been able to receive quite a lot of excitement from customers and from the media. That said, I think I wasn't joking when I said that we do need help. We are young. So we really appreciate when we hear back from customers saying, look guys, this is screwed up, or you got to work on this, or hey, I really like that. So we're young and we're adapting, but I think they have been quite cool on that. Well, actually, that's pretty much it. Please ask me anything. Excited to be here again. Thanks a lot for your time.